Good day, everyone. So, my name is Asar Edwards, and today I'll be presenting on the environmental impact and the post-human world. Climate change and the post-human world. What is climate change and its human causes? Some examples could be deforestation and industrial emissions. Climate change is something that I'm pretty sure that we're all familiar with, not only because it's an environmental issue, but a global crisis with unchangeable implications for the future of humanity. Each day we confront rising temperatures, extreme weather events, and ecosystem disruptions, which brings me to my point in how we should also consider how this could lead to a post-human world. A post-human future is one where humanity may evolve biologically, adapt through technology, or even transform culturally and socially to survive and thrive in an extremely different world. And the way we respond to climate change could define this transformation. Environmental justice and inequality. This was one of the concerns that came up while I was doing my research for this topic. So, climate change affects vulnerable communities, particularly low income populations and certain minority groups. Imbalance in vulnerability, adaptation capacity, and access to resources raise ethical questions about responsibility and fairness. While climate change has the potential to radically transform humanity, it is also a deep ethical challenge. Vulnerable populations such as low-income communities and people of different minority groups face the brunt of climate impact even though they contribute the least to global emissions. In a post-human world, these inequalities could become even more pronounced as technology evolves and some societies adapt more quickly to those challenges. What role will these disadvantaged groups play? How do we ensure that a post-human world does not simply recreate old forms of injustice, but instead create new possibilities for equality and fairness? Climate change and global migration. This was another concern that arose while I was doing my research. So, climate change is increasingly driving global migration with communities displaced due to rising sea levels, floods, and droughts. Climate refugees are facing new geopolitical challenges as they seek refuge in more stable regions. So, as the planet warms, millions are being displaced by climate-related disasters from rising seas to prolonged droughts. This global migration is not just a humanitarian crisis, it could also be the signal for the beginning of a post-human world. As people move across barriers, they may bring with them new ways of living, new technologies, and new cultural concepts that challenge traditional notions of national identity and social organization. But could this migration spark a reimagining of what it means to be human in a world that no longer offers safe, familiar places to call home? Another concern is when these people migrate, how will they adapt to the new area that they're in? Will they be able to, will the government or whoever is in charge at that point be able to facilitate them, or will they want to facilitate them? Will the discrimination they face increase, or will anything change? Technology in adapting to climate change. Technological solutions such as geoengineering and renewable energies offer some hope but have a lot of risks. The ethical implications. How far should we go in manipulating the environment for human survival, and who decides what technologies to implement? Technological solutions to global change are both a blessing and, on the other hand, could be a major risk. On one hand, technologies like renewable energy, carbon capture, and geoengineering hold promise to mitigating some of the worst effects of climate change. On the other hand, they raise rather complex questions about the feasibility and ethical implications. For example, large-scale geoengineering projects designed to cool the planet by reflecting sunlight or removing carbon dioxide from the atmosphere could have unintentional consequences. And How would they get these resources to build these things? Something that big wouldn't be possible, in my opinion. Societal adaptation to climate change. Societal adaptations could include new infrastructure, sustainable agriculture, and smarter cities. Ensuring these adaptations are equitable and beneficial to all people, especially the most vulnerable, like certain minorities and people from low income populations, should be prioritized in this regard. And how will humanity adapt to the challenge of climate change? Maybe we could find the answer in the combination of technological innovations, social restructuring, like making new buildings that mitigate the effects of climate change, and maybe cultural change. We might see the rise of the theoretical smart cities and advanced infrastructure designed to withstand extreme weather. But these adaptations may go even further. We may not only change how we live, but also how we perceive ourselves and our relationship with the planet itself. In a post-human world, societies might evolve in ways we can't even predict, perhaps even leading to the emergence of a new form of human life. Biodiversity loss and human survival. Biodiversity is crucial for ecosystem services like that humans rely on, like pollination, clean water, and soil regeneration. Climate change is accelerating biodiversity loss, which could jeopardize human survival and economic stability. Biodiversity loss is a major consequence of climate change, and it is detrimental for human survival. Climate-induced changes in ecosystems disrupt essential services like pollination, water purification, and soil regeneration. As these ecosystems collapse, humanity may be forced to reevaluate their whole role in the world. In a post-human society, could we maybe redefine our relationship with nature? We could possibly evolve to coexist with ecosystems in ways that prioritize stability, interdependence rather than dominance and exploration. Also, the use of the resources from the earth also disrupts biodiversity. And if we were to try to mitigate the effects of climate change using geoengineering, the resources that we would need would come from the earth, which would inevitably destroy even more biodiversity. In conclusion, climate change is not only reshaping the world around us, it's also shaping the future of humanity. The environmental impacts of this crisis could lead us to a post-human world where technology, adaptation, and even biological evolution could alter what it means to be human. The decision we make today about technology, sustainability, and social justice will determine whether this transformation is one of survival or one of radical change.